Moral of the story: having fun is like finding a treasure. Foolish roosters. In a cozy farm, there were two silly roosters named Benny and Billy. They loved making everyone laugh with their funny antics. One sunny day, Benny had a wacky idea. He said to Billy, "Hey, let's find the end of a rainbow." Billy's eyes lit up. "Wow, Benny, really? How do we do that?" Benny flapped his wings excitedly. "I heard rainbows have a treasure at the end. So, we follow it and find the treasure." Off they went, running across fields and hopping over rocks, trying to reach the rainbow's colorful arch. As they trotted along, they met a wise old squirrel named Sammy. Sammy looked at them and chuckled. "Well, hello there. What's got you two in a hurry?" Benny proudly said, "We're off to find the treasure at the end of the rainbow." Sammy chuckled again. "Ah, rainbows are beautiful, but they don't really have treasures." Benny and Billy looked puzzled. "No treasure?" Sammy grinned. "But the real treasure is the adventure itself. Enjoying the journey and having fun." Benny and Billy grinned back. "You're right, Sammy. Let's keep going and have a super silly adventure." So, off they went again, skipping and laughing. They splashed in a puddle, played tag with butterflies, and even had a mini dance party. As the sun started to set, they realized they were far from home. Benny turned to Billy with a mischievous look. "Even though we didn't find a rainbow treasure, we found something even better, lots of giggles and new friends." Billy nodded, his rooster feathers ruffled with excitement. "Absolutely, Benny. Today was a blast." Hand in wing, they trotted back to the farm, sharing their goofy adventure with all their animal pals. From that day, Bunny and Billy learned a great lesson. From that day on, Benny and Billy were known as the roosters who reminded everyone that the best treasure of all is laughter and friendship. Moral: having fun is like finding a treasure. Join Kids Storyland family. So let's get started. Lion and Tiger Story for Kids. Once upon a time, in the vast and wild African savanna, there lived a lion named Leo and a cheetah named Charlie. Leo was known for his majestic mane and his powerful roar, while Charlie was famous for his lightning-fast speed. Leo and Charlie were the best of friends, despite their differences. Leo was big and strong, while Charlie was small and agile. They loved to spend their days exploring the savanna together, chasing butterflies, and playing hide-and-seek among the tall grasses. One sunny morning, as Leo and Charlie were basking in the warmth of the African sun, they heard a distant cry for help. It was coming from the nearby forest. Without hesitation, Leo and Charlie raced toward the sound to see what was going on. As they entered the forest, they discovered a family of monkeys in distress. The monkeys were trapped in a thorny thicket and couldn't escape. Leo and Charlie knew they had to help. Leo, with his mighty strength, began to carefully pull the thorns away from the thicket, making a pathway for the frightened monkeys to escape. Charlie, with his incredible speed, darted around, making sure no predators were lurking nearby. With teamwork and determination, they managed to free all the monkeys from the thorny trap. The grateful monkeys chattered and danced in joy, thanking Leo and Charlie for their bravery and kindness. Leo and Charlie returned to the savannah with smiles on their faces, their hearts filled with pride. They had shown that even though they were different, they could work together to make a difference in the lives of others. From that day on, Leo and Charlie were even more inseparable. And so, in the heart of the African savanna, the lion and the cheetah lived happily ever after, teaching everyone the valuable lesson of friendship, kindness, and the power of working together. If you like this video, please like and subscribe my channel. Bye. Join Kids Storyland family. So let's get started. The Brave Bunny. Once upon a time, in a cozy meadow, there lived a little bunny named Benny. Benny was not like other bunnies. He was smaller and softer, but he had the biggest heart. One sunny morning, as Benny hopped around, he heard a faint cry for help. Following the sound, he found his friend, Ricky the squirrel, stuck in a thorny bush. Ricky was scared and couldn't move. Without hesitation, Benny hopped closer and said, "Don't worry, Ricky, I'll help you." He carefully nibbled at the thorns, one by one, until Ricky was free. Ricky thanked Benny with a big smile. As they continued on their adventure, they heard a rustling in the bushes. It was Sammy the bird, with his wing caught in a twig. Benny and Ricky rushed to help again. Benny held the twig with his tiny teeth, while Ricky gently pushed Sammy's wing out. Sammy chirped happily and flew away. Benny and Ricky felt proud of their bravery. They continued exploring the meadow, making friends, and helping creatures big and small. One day, a big storm darkened the sky. Rain poured down, and the wind blew fiercely. Benny spotted a frightened family of mice shivering under a leaf. He led them to a safe burrow and stayed with them until the storm passed. Word of Benny's bravery spread throughout the meadow. All the animals admired him and wanted to be his friend. Benny, in his soft and small way, showed that even the tiniest creatures can have the biggest hearts. And so, Benny the brave bunny became a hero in the meadow, teaching everyone that kindness and courage come in all shapes and sizes. And they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a sunny meadow, a fluffy white lamb named Lily played near a clear, bubbling stream. Lily was innocent and kind, and she loved to drink water from the stream. One day, a hungry-looking wolf named Willie appeared. He wanted to eat Lily and had a plan to trick her. "Hey, Lily," called the wolf. "You're stirring up the water and making it muddy. How dare you?" Lily looked surprised and said, "I'm sorry, Mr. Wolf. I'm just trying to drink some water." The wolf grinned slyly and said, "Apology or not, you must pay for your actions. I'm going to eat you up." Lily trembled with fear. She thought quickly and said, "Mr. Wolf, please give me a chance to explain. I'm downstream from you, so how could I muddy the water here?" The wolf paused, a little confused. Lily continued, "You see, the water flows from you to me. So, if anything, your stirring would affect my water, not the other way around." The wolf realized he had no good argument, and Lily was right. He felt a bit embarrassed for trying to fool her. With a grumpy growl, he slinked away, realizing he couldn't trick the clever lamb. Lily was relieved to enjoying the clear water and the warm sun. She knew that sometimes, the truth could protect her even from the trickiest situations. And she learned that being smart and brave could keep her safe from those who might want to harm her. And so, Lily the lamb lived happily in the meadow, drinking from the stream and making friends with the other animals, always remembering the day she outsmarted the tricky wolf. Moral: smart lamb shows lies don't win, truth is stronger. Moral of the story: working together can solve big problems. The stork and the crab. In a peaceful pond, there lived a graceful stork named Stanley and a clever crab named Charlie. Stanley was known for his long, slender legs and majestic flight, while Charlie was admired for his wit and intelligence. One hot summer day, the pond began to dry up due to the scorching sun. The fish and other pond creatures were worried about their home. The stork and the crab noticed their friend's distress and decided to help. "I can fly to the nearby lake and bring back some water in my beak," suggested Stanley. "And I can use my strong claws to dig a channel from the lake to the pond, so the water can flow here," added Charlie. They both set out on their mission to save the pond. Stanley soared high into the sky and flew to the lake, filling his beak with water. He carefully flew back to the pond and let the water trickle down, refreshing the pond's surface. Meanwhile, Charlie worked diligently, digging a channel from the lake to the pond. With each scoop of sand, he moved closer to his goal. But as Stanley watched Charlie's progress, he couldn't resist making a remark. "Charlie, you're so slow with those tiny claws. It would be much faster if you had long legs like mine." Charlie smiled, undisturbed by Stanley's comment. "Well, Stanley, We all have our unique strengths. Your long legs are perfect for flying, and my claws are just right for digging. After many hours of hard work, Stanley and Charlie succeeded. The pond was filled with fresh water, and all the creatures cheered in gratitude. From that day on, Stanley and Charlie became close friends. They realized that each of them had valuable qualities, and together, they could accomplish great things. Moral: working together can solve big problems. The Little Blue Bird. Once upon a time, in a vibrant forest, lived a small and cheerful bluebird named Bella. Bella had the most beautiful blue feathers that shimmered in the sunlight. She loved to spend her days perched on a branch, looking out over the trees and singing her sweet songs. Every morning, Bella would wake up with the first rays of the sun and greet the day with her melodic tunes. Her songs were so lovely that all the other animals in the forest would stop to listen. The squirrels would pause their acorn gathering, and the rabbits would stop hopping around to enjoy Bella's music. But Bella wasn't just content with singing for her forest friends. She dreamed of sharing her songs with birds from faraway lands. One day, Bella made up her mind to embark on an adventure. She spread her wings and took flight, soaring high above the treetops. She journeyed through valleys, over rivers, and across mountains. Along the way, she met birds of different colors and sizes. She shared her songs with them, and they were all amazed by her beautiful voice. As Bella continued her travels, she made new friends and learned songs from different places. She learned a joyful tune from a tropical parrot and a soothing melody from a wise old owl. With each new song, Bella's own singing became even more magical. One evening, as the sun began to set, Bella realized it was time to return home. She missed her forest and her friends. With a heart full of happiness, Bella flew back to her familiar branch. When Bella arrived, her forest friends gathered around, eager to hear about her adventures. She sang all the songs she had learned, filling the forest with a symphony of sounds. The animals danced and clapped their paws and hooves, thanking Bella for bringing the world's music to their home. From that day on, Bella continued to sing her songs, not just for her forest friends, but for all the creatures that visited the forest. Her beautiful voice united animals of all kinds, reminding them of the magic of friendship and the joy of sharing. Moral: Bluebell's music unites friends, creating happiness. Moral of the story: stay calm to find solutions. Monkeys and the Cap Seller. Once upon a time, in a small village, there was a cap seller named Jack. He had a big bag full of colorful caps that he carried on his head and sold in different towns and markets. One sunny morning, Jack set out on a journey to the nearby town to sell his caps. As he walked through a dense forest on his way, he felt tired and decided to take a short nap under a shady tree. Before lying down, he placed his cap bag beside him and dozed off. Unbeknownst to Jack, a group of mischievous monkeys lived in the same forest. They were curious little creatures and loved to explore new things. When they saw the cap seller sleeping, they quietly came down from the trees and gathered around the bag of caps. Curiosity got the better of the monkeys, and one of them decided to try on a red cap. Soon, all the monkeys were wearing colorful caps on their heads, imitating the cap seller. When Jack woke up from his nap, he was shocked to see the monkeys wearing his caps. He tried to shoo them away, but the monkeys were playful and quick, jumping from tree to tree while still wearing the caps. Jack knew he couldn't catch the nimble monkeys, so he thought of a clever plan. He took off his own cap, held it in his hand, and threw it on the ground. To his amazement, the monkeys copied him and threw their caps on the ground too. With the monkeys now distracted by their own caps, Jack quickly gathered his caps and put them back in his bag. Feeling relieved, Jack continued his journey to the nearby town. Moral: stay calm to find solutions. Jackal and Camel. Once upon a time in a desert, there was a clever jackal named Jake. Jake loved to trick others and get what he wanted. One scorching hot day, Jake was really hungry, and he saw a big, kind-hearted camel named Carl. Carl had a hump on his back, which carried water and food for him during the long desert journeys. Jake had an idea. He approached Carl with a big smile and said, "Hello, dear friend. It's so hot, and I'm so thirsty. Can I please have just a little sip of the water in your hump?" Carl was a kind camel and wanted to help. He agreed and let Jake take a sip from his hump. But Jake didn't stop at a sip. He kept drinking and drinking until all the water was gone. Carl felt betrayed. He said, "You tricked me, Jake. You took all my water." Jake just laughed and ran away, leaving poor Carl thirsty and upset. But Carl was not one to be fooled twice. He learned from his mistake. From then on, he became more cautious and didn't trust strangers easily. The clever jackal, Jake, learned a valuable lesson too. He realized that being dishonest and taking advantage of others was not a good way to make friends or get what he wanted. And so, in the end, both the jackal and the camel learned important lessons about honesty and trust. Come be a part of our Kids Storyland family. Hello, dear kids. Welcome back to Kids Storyland. Today we have amazing story of two lazy brothers. So let's get started. Two lazy brothers. In a quiet town, there lived two brothers, Tim and Tom, who were very lazy. They loved to sleep all day and avoided any work. One day, as they lazed under a tree, a friendly cat approached them. This cat was no ordinary cat, it could talk. The cat said, "Hey, lazy brothers, you should really do something productive with your time." Tim and Tom were surprised and asked, "What should we do?" The cat replied, "You could plant a small garden in your backyard. It's easy and will make you proud." The idea of a garden intrigued them, so they decided to give it a try. They planted some seeds, watered them, and watched them grow. It didn't take much effort, and they found it quite enjoyable. As the days passed, their garden flourished with colorful flowers and delicious vegetables. Tim and Tom were amazed at what they had accomplished with just a little bit of effort. The talking cat returned and said, "See, you did a great job by being a little less lazy. Now you have a beautiful garden to enjoy." Tim and Tom realized that doing a little work could bring joy and satisfaction to their lives. Moral of this story is, a little effort goes a long way. The Talking Parrot. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a little girl named Maya. Maya loved animals and had a special fascination for birds. One day, while exploring the nearby forest, Maya stumbled upon a colorful parrot sitting on a branch. To her surprise, the parrot started talking. "Hello there, Maya," it greeted her. Maya's eyes widened in astonishment. "Wow! You can talk?" she asked the parrot, her excitement growing. "Yes, indeed," replied the parrot. "I'm a magical parrot with the ability to speak. I can also grant wishes." Maya couldn't believe her luck. She thought for a moment and said, "Dear parrot, I wish to become the best singer in the world." The parrot nodded and said, "Your wish is my command." From that day onward, Maya discovered her incredible singing talent. She practiced diligently, singing beautiful melodies that enchanted everyone who listened. Her voice soared high in the air, spreading joy and happiness throughout the village. As news of Maya's extraordinary singing talent spread far and wide, a famous music producer heard about her. He invited Maya to perform at a grand concert in the city. Maya was overjoyed and accepted the opportunity. The day of the concert arrived, and Maya took the stage with confidence. As soon as she started singing, the audience was captivated by her sweet and melodious voice. People cheered, clapped, and praised her incredible talent. Maya's dream had come true, and she had become a renowned singer. She thanked the talking parrot for granting her wish and helping her discover her hidden talent. Maya continued to share her gift with the world, spreading happiness through her music. And as for the talking parrot, it remained Maya's faithful friend, always by her side, encouraging her and reminding her of the power of her voice. And they lived happily ever after, singing and bringing joy to people's hearts. The Magical Bag of Gold. Once upon a time, in a peaceful village, there lived a kind-hearted boy named Jack. Jack's family was very poor, and they often struggled to find enough food to eat. But Jack was always cheerful and never complained. One sunny morning, as Jack was walking through the forest, he saw a bright light shimmering behind a bush. Curious, he went closer and found a small, old bag made of dusty leather. When he opened the bag, he couldn't believe his eyes. It was filled with shiny, sparkling gold coins. Jack's heart raced with excitement. He knew that this bag of gold could change his family's life. But he also knew that it might belong to someone else. So, he decided to ask the wise old woman of the village for advice. The wise old woman listened to Jack's story and smiled kindly. "Jack," she said, "this bag of gold is indeed magical. It is a gift from the forest spirits to reward your kind heart. But remember, true riches come from doing good deeds. Jack felt grateful for the bag of gold but also understood the old woman's words. He decided to use the gold to help his family and the villagers. First, Jack bought enough food to fill his family's table. Then, he shared some gold coins with the other families who were struggling. The village started to thrive, and everyone was happier. As time went on, word spread about the magical bag of gold and Jack's kindness. People from neighboring villages came to visit, and Jack shared his gold with them as well. The forest seemed to bless him for his generosity. Moral: Jack's kindness made gold bright. Tree and flower story. Once upon a time, there was a tall tree named Tim and a pretty flower named Rosie. They lived in a sunny garden together. Tim was a strong and sturdy tree with branches. He provided shade to the animals that visited the garden and sheltered them from the rain. Rosie, on the other hand, was a small and delicate flower with petals. He loved to bloom in the warm sunlight and spread her sweet fragrance all around. Tim and Rosie were good friends and enjoyed spending time together. They would chat and share stories as the wind gently rustled through Tim's leaves. One day, Rosie felt sad because she thought she wasn't as important as Tim. She wished she could be tall like him and provide shelter to the animals too. Tim noticed Rosie's sadness and said, "Oh, dear Rosie, don't be sad. You have your own special qualities that make you wonderful just the way you are." Rosie smiled and looked up at Tim. "Do you really think so?" she asked. Tim nodded and replied, "Absolutely. We are all different, and that's what makes the garden so beautiful. You don't need to be tall to be important. Just being yourself and spreading happiness is a great gift." Rosie's petals perked up, and she felt happy again. She realized that she didn't have to be like Tim to make a difference. From that day on, Rosie embraced her uniqueness and bloomed with confidence. The animals in the garden would gather around her, admiring her beauty and enjoying her lovely scent. Tim continued to stand tall and strong, providing shade and shelter to his friends. He admired Rosie's ability to bring happiness to others, and they both cherished their friendship. Together, Tim and Rosie showed everyone in the garden that it doesn't matter if you're big or small, what matters is being true to yourself and bringing joy to those around you. And so, the garden flourished with trees and flowers, each appreciating their own special qualities. They lived harmoniously, celebrating diversity and understanding that everyone has something unique to offer, no matter their size. Dove and Ant. Once upon a time a very thirsty ant was drinking water from the river. Suddenly the ant lost his balance and fell into the river. "Help! Help!" cried the ant. But no one could hear his cries. A dove, sitting on a tree nearby, saw that the ant in trouble. She quickly plucked off a tree and dropped it into a river. The ant climbed on the leaf. He thanked the dove for saving his life. After a few days, the dove was sitting on a tree. The ant saw a hunter aiming his arrow at the dove. The ant knew that Hoy's friend, the dove, was in danger. He quickly bit the hunter's leg. The hunter cried in pain. The hunter's arrow missed the dove. This time ant saved the dove. The dove thanked the ant for saving her life. And they became friends forever. Moral of the story: one good deed deserves another.